Center number 4 is going to be the kickoff to our Greek mythology unit. We've already read as a class the Greek creation story, and I've modeled for you what you're going to be doing in this center and showed you your final product. But you're going to be assigned within your group one of these 5 creation stories, and I'm going to use the Egyptian close read as an example. The first thing you're going to do is number your paragraphs so that when you discuss as a group, you have an easy reference point. Then you're going to read through your article 3 times. The first time, you're going to mark in blue any vocabulary that you assume that the author thought you already knew, which is why he didn't give you any definitions for it. So if you didn't know any of the words, or you think they're really important to the article, you're going to mark them in blue. And if you need to, you're going to look them up and define them, or you can discuss within your group what you think they mean. The second time you read it, you're going to focus on that exclamation point and things that surprised you. Could be a surprise because it's startling information. It might be a surprise because it's just something that you didn't know before, or it might be a surprise because it's something that you did know that the article mentioned, and you're surprised about that. The third time you read it, you're going to mark with a star anything that challenged, changed, or confirmed what you already knew. And I'm going to say we're really looking for main ideas here. It's either confirming that you knew something important, or it's changing or challenging something you didn't know. So for every paragraph that you have in here, I would expect there to be at least one annotation with a star and an explanation of what's important about it. Because if it wasn't important, the author wouldn't have included that paragraph. Now, I did cut the creation stories off at a part so the creation story for many of these goes on much longer, but I cut them off at a point that allows you to focus on these 4 and maybe 5 areas. And you should have this chart filled in already for the Greeks, and you're only going to be responsible for filling in the one chart for the one that you're working on. So if you're reading the Egyptian creation story in your group, this is the only box that you have to fill in. When we present to the class, you'll be taking notes from other student presentations to see what they determined about the creation of the world, deities within that story, how the plants and animals were created, and how humans were created. So again, this is going to be glued in page 7 of your interactive notebook. And then on the opposite page, page 8, I want you to create a family tree or a diagram similar to the one that we did for the Greeks that shows the process between how the world started, branching out to, what was created from there, any gods and what the gods ended up creating. So you have some kind of a graphic visual to help us understand how the world came to exist. After you have this filled in, and again, this is something you can work on within your group, you're going to go back to This Week in Language Arts, the center page, and one person within your group needs to click here and then go to File, Make a Copy of this presentation. And once it's been created, then that person needs to share it with all the other people in your group. And you're going to divide up the process between this work. So you're going to start by putting the title of your creation story and who your group members are. And then you either have 4 or 5 people in your group. You need to divide up this work. One person's going to be responsible for making a slide that shows that family tree. One person's going to be responsible for making the slide about how the world came to be. One person's responsible for the deities and gods. Another one explains how plants and animals came to being, and then the last person can do how human beings are made, according to that nature myth. Now, if you don't have enough people to assign one person per slide, then one person could do 2 slides based on, if one slide has less information, or maybe you could all collaborate and work on this together. So this is what you're going to focus on first. You're going to read, you're going to do your graphic organizer, and then work on your presentation. And know that you'll be standing up in front of the class as a group to present. You personally will only be graded on the one slide that you are responsible for and how you present that to the class. So there isn't a group grade. You are responsible for your own portion of this presentation. When you are finished or at the end of the period, you do need to put your name at the top of this close read and then turn it in, and that's part of your grade for your center activity. Okay, and if you have any questions, first ask your neighbor within your group to see if someone can help you, and then raise your hand and I will come help you.